Hi everybody, it's Sarah Cray with Let's Make Art, and we watercolor. We do a new project every single week. We break it down step by step. We provide outlines most of the time. Half of the time we provide outlines. And today we are doing the summer bicycle project. This one's pretty straightforward. So if you're just looking for a fun project that you just want to spend a little bit of time doing and not, stress about creating form with value and all these different techniques, this is a project for you.
Yeah, no atmospheric perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good word.
Thank you.
It's just a little fun little quickie. So we are using 4 colors today. Our first color is fuchsia. Our second color is azure blue. Our third color is emerald green. And our fourth color is honey brown. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice we don't have black. We're going to mix it. And if you're using Dr. P.H. Martin's, the equivalents are golden brown, moss green, turquoise blue, and wild rose or alpine rose. Those are pretty similar colors. So those 4. Essentially, you just need pink, green, blue, and brown. Also, this is your painting. You can paint it whatever color you want. It's your bike. Maybe you don't like blue, Yeah,
maybe you have a pink bike that is this exact thing and you want to paint that.
Yeah. So we're going to do 5 steps for this project. So the very first step, we're going to do the blue body. Second step, we're going to do the wheels and the pedals. Third step, we are going to do the brown bits, handlebars, seat, basket. Fourth step, we are going to do the flowers. Fifth step, we're going to do the spokes and the lettering. We do have an outline for this. You can get it free on our website. Just find this project under watercolor kits and there will be a little icon there that says download outline. And I just use graphite paper to transfer it. If you don't know how to use graphite paper, you can Google it or tune into a live where I do have an outline and I will show you how I trace images.
It's the same kind of paper that used to be on checks, the transfer paper.
Similar. It's similar. It's similar to carbon paper. Okay, so for my bike, and it all depends on how dark you want your bike to be. If you want your bike to be a dark blue, then you would pick up a lot of blue and just go straight to your paper. If you want it to be a lighter blue, add some water to it. And if you want kind of a turquoisey blue color, you'd take a tiny bit of the emerald green, mix it in with the blue, add some water to it to lighten it up, and just kind of keep messing with it till you get the blue that you want. You can always use your scratch paper to test it. Ooh, that's a good color.
That is a good color.
Let's go with that one. All right. So let's just get started filling this in. I'm using my 6 because I feel comfortable doing smaller areas with the larger brush. But if you do not feel comfortable, you are free to use your round 2. Oh, I forgot to say what brushes we're using. Round 6, round 2. Standard brushes. They're our go-to guys.
They're great.
They're very great. And yep, that's it.
My first experience on a bicycle, I ran into a tree.
Ooh.
Because the chain was rusty.
I don't really know how to ride a bike.
Huh.
I just don't feel confident that I would be able to stay
Upright?
Upright.
The faster you go, the more stable a bicycle or motorcycle is. Do you know that?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I have such a hard time.
Yeah, you got to pick up the pace a little bit.
Also, literally can't tell you the last time I was even on a bike. So. What? You can't either?
I can't either. I don't know the last time I was on any type of 2-wheeled vehicle. I have very bad experience with them.
So this is more of an illustration. So I'm not kind of going crazy with my value changes to make it seem like this bicycle has form. You know what I mean? It's okay that this is looking a little 2D. Two-dimensional.
Gassy. You mean gassy.
I love this project. It's just like, you know what? We're mostly halfway done. It's so great. It's also fun to do these because it reminds me of some of the first projects I ever did when I started watercoloring, and I did one of the first illustrations that I put on my Etsy shop was a bicycle like this, but instead of spokes, I did like flowers and leaves, and then it had a basket, and then it had enjoy the ride, but it was much bigger on the top. And it's just taking me back to those times.
It's whimsically.
Yes, it was very whimsical.
Whimsical?
Whimsical?
Ah, luckily I've got a thesaurus here.
Whimsy. So again, just still using my blue that I mixed up, my turquoisey color, putting in the body. That's all I'm doing. And we're almost done with it. So congratulations. I would also just like to point out, circles are really hard to make them not wonky, even when you're tracing, so I'm sorry if my wheels bother you. Okay, that's it. Step one, complete. Now we're going to do the wheels. So I gotta mix a blackish color, or a color that is close enough to black. So what I'm gonna start off with is the blue. And then I'm gonna grab some of the brown, which is gonna make it green. And then I'm gonna grab some fuchsia. And maybe some more fuchsia. And now I have a pretty dark, and I put a little bit of blue in there too. This is the color I got. That's pretty black, right?
Nice.
So what I like to do is you just start by mixing complementary colors, and if they're leaning too strong towards one color, mix in its complement. It was too green, so I added fuchsia, which is acting as a red. That neutralized the green, and then I just added an extra hint of blue because black for the most part has undertones of blue, so then it gave me a more black feel instead of brown. Okay, so again, it's really hard to make perfect circles even with this outline, so give yourself a little bit of a grace here.
I looked up whimsical.
Yeah.
Whimsical.
Yeah.
In the thesaurus.
Yeah.
And I immediately realized I don't use a thesaurus or dictionary often enough because I got confused
Yeah?
about the description because I found whimsical.
What did it say?
And I looked at like a dark spot that like tells me what it means or different words, you know, synonyms. Mm-hmm. It says beef, bellyache, carp, complaint. I was very confused because those are not related.
Are you looking at the right word?
No.
What word?
I skipped. It's something completely different.
What word were you looking at?
Apparently whiny.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
So just try to make your wheels as round as possible. It's hard to do. I'm looking at mine right now and I'm like, well,
It's an old bike.
it's fine. It's only that chunk right there is throwing me off. There's a couple things that you can do. I don't feel comfortable trying to thin this out. It would be really hard to get those lines crisp. The other thing that you can do if it's really bothering you is thicken up the rest of the tire so it's just a thick tire. I don't want to do that though because then I think it would become more distracting than the little bump itself. So the next option is to just not be mad about it. And just be like, well, that is what it is. Let's move on. And this is a fairly quick project, so if you got to do this, if the tire is bothering you that bad, you can just do another one. I'm just going to let that go. Okay, let's see if I can do better on the next one. Okay. Maybe it'd be helpful if I like outline it first.
There's a question from the audience.
Oh, yes.
Are you planning on doing a motorcycle painting?
I am sure I will do one at some point.
At some juncture?
Because I have to come up with a new project every week, so for the foreseeable future. Sorry, there's something in my eye.
That's getting saved.
Okay, and if you need to turn your paper to get these wheels, do it. Maybe that's where I went wrong on my other one. I didn't turn. It's still a little wonky, but that's all right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good job. That's step 2. Now we're going to move on to step 3. We're going to do the brown bits. Oh, wait. We didn't do this metal part right here. So this is a silver part, this thing where the petals come out from. So I'm going to do, oh, I smeared it just a little. Ooh, it's okay. Don't put your wrist in your painting. I'm going to do a little black curve underneath, and then I'm going to add water and use the water like as to make it kind of a grayish color, like a lighter. Now, because we mixed this black, it will have a hint of another color. This one is reading a little bit green. If you want to try and grab a tiny, tiny bit of fuchsia to see if you can neutralize that green, you can. There we go. Okay, brown bits. Oh wait, we got to do this little metal part that connects the body to the seat. And I'm just using that same gray that I used for this. It's just putting the lines in. There we go. Now the brown bits. I'm going to switch to my 2 for the seat and the pedal. So I'm just going to use honey brown for this. But we do have this like darker color that we mixed. So if you want to make a dark brown, I'm going to have like my pure honey brown, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of a darker brown. And on this pedal, the side of it is going to be darker, like so. And then on the seat, this side part, like that. And then I'm going to use just honey brown for the top of the seat and the top of the pedal. If you want to make your pedal gray instead of brown, you absolutely have the right to do that. It is your life, my friend. Okay, and then for the basket, I'm going to have that mostly honey brown. And you can see I left some spaces here, and that's because that's where the leaves are going to kind of pop over the edge of the basket. And I'm just doing a little shadow to kind of communicate a lip on this basket. And then the top is going to be the brown. Like so. And then the handlebars. Or just the handles. Bada bing, bada boom. If you want to wait to do the handlebars till after you put in your basket, that's probably a better choice, because then you can make the handlebars go to wherever your flowers end.
Have you ever heard the song No Handlebars
Nope.
by the Flowbots?
Nope.
I'll play it later.
Hey, did you see the comments that in the hydrangea video when we're like, Alexis, play Taylor Swift? It worked.
Oh, Alexa?
Yeah, Alexa.
I didn't see that, but that's going to be great.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So if you want to tell them to play that song.
Alexa, play No Handlebars by the Flowbots. Pretty sure that's the right name. I could be listening to some weird stuff.
Okay, so for the flowers, I did a few different flowers here. I'm going to take my fuchsia. I kind of contaminated my fuchsia by mixing brown with it, so I'm going to do a fresh little pile right here. Now, if you mix a little bit of the honey brown with the fuchsia, you get kind of a reddish color. So I'm going to use that reddish color and do roses. And for these roses, I'm just going to do swirls. So dot and then swirl it out. And do a couple more. Okay. And then if we want it to have like, I just kind of do like organic dashes, like that. And maybe some flowers that kind of stick out from the basket. You can do lavender. It's up to you. You can fill this basket with whatever colors and whatever flowers you like. Use the green for your leaves. Again, you can choose what kind of leaves and how big.
My most recent bike experience,
Yeah.
I was going to go trail riding with a mountain bike and brother-in-law and some of his buddies. And he said, oh, this bike is great. I've never had any problems with it. It'll be a good time. So I get on the trail, not thinking anything of it. The chain comes off the bike, detaches the front tire somehow.
What?
And I fall off the trail. I have horrible experience with bikes.
And that's why I don't ride bikes.
Exactly.
Listen, I care about my safety.
I will never ride trails again.
Okay, so I mixed a little bit of the fuchsia with the blue to get this lavender color. Okay, so I filled up my basket, and I'm going to do one more kind of stick of leaves popping out. There we go. And now you can put in the handlebars since the flowers are done. So, okay. Oh, and then there's a tiny little, you can't see it very well because in the example the leaves are covering it, but there's a little bar that comes out to connect the basket to the body. I was just thinking that, I'm like, wait a second, this basket is floating. You need that little, you need that little area right there. Okay, now we're gonna move on to our last step. We just have to do the spokes and the lettering.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I'm still gonna use my round 2. I'm gonna get some of this gray. I'm gonna put the center in on my bike, and then I'm just gonna do the spokes. And if you want to make these black, you can, or if you want to add a little bit of water to them to gray them, you can. Just trying to get my black back. There we go. Okay. Thin lines, you're going to want to do vertical hold, so you're just on the tip of the paintbrush, light pressure. It takes practice to get thin lines, so please don't be upset with yourself, and it would be a good idea to practice on a sheet of paper before you put it on your final painting. And if you want to add spokes, if you want to take some away, maybe you want to do pumpkins instead of wheels. Have you ever seen So You Married an Axe Murderer?
Yes.
It reminds me of that every time. Hid! Move!
Move your noggin.
I love that movie so much. Woman. Woman. She stole my heart and my cat. Okay, same thing, other side. Do the middle and then the spokes. If you're having trouble getting really straight lines and your lines are kind of wobbly, go faster. I can't remember what live it was. It was one that the entire customer service team did. Do you remember?
I don't remember the project, but I remember the time.
Gosh, I know. But I remember that Aisha was having a really hard time getting thin lines, and it's because she was going really slow. When you slow down a lot, first of all, and I'll do it really slow to show you, you pause your brush, which makes your line thicker anyway, and then it wobbles more because you're like so focused on controlling it. That, see how like thicker and wobbier?
Yes.
Whereas if you just kind of like go, okay, I'm gonna go from here to here and I'm just gonna do it quick and I'm just gonna do light pressure, like I'm barely touching the paper, vertical hold, hua, hua. So much easier to get thin lines and straight lines, hua. There we go. And now we just gotta do the lettering. If you don't wanna do the lettering, you don't have to. And if you need help with lettering and wanna learn more about lettering, we teach lettering. Our artist, Nicole, is a fabulous hand letterer. We have many a tutorial on YouTube on how to do those.
She's even learning how to write left-handed.
Yeah, she's learning how to letter left-handed.
To be able to explain things to you better.
To teach left-handed people how to letter
Yeah.
left-handedly. That's how great she is. So
I won't even eat left-handed.
I am not going to learn how to paint left-handed, so I'm really sorry, you guys. Okay, it's easier for me to turn my paper whenever I do lettering. And it's since I already have the outline, I'm not too worried about it going crooked. So I'm just going to follow. And it's the same idea as as when we did the spokes. Light pressure. And just kind of following. And maybe you want to switch what this phrase says. You absolutely can. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. That's it. that's this project. Congratulations. Oh, one thing I was going to show you. So I kind of smeared my hand a little bit on this tire, and there's like one area that it goes out a little bit longer than the tire, and what you can do is you can hide that with the little spoke. So I'm just going to add one right there. There, now it doesn't stick out as much.
Nice.
So you can do things like that. Okay, if you painted this with us, congratulations. I would love to see it. I'm sure you guys are going to come up with some super fun things to put in your basket, or phrases or things coming off your bike, and all of the fun things. So tag us in it. You can hashtag Let's Make Art or tag us at Let's Go Make Art. We're really sorry those aren't the same, and we are actively working on making those the same. We have a Facebook community that is wonderful. So it's separate from our business page. You do have to request to join it because it is a private group, but very supportive community. You can see how other people are painting the same projects and also taking what they're learning and applying it to their own personal art that they're coming up with, which is amazing. So that's called Let's Make Art Watercolor. And if you need any of these supplies, the paintbrushes, the palettes, the paints, the paper, outlines, kits, anything, you can find that all at letsmakeart.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of the things. This is me trying to be a good business person. Okay, that's it. Bye.